Back in bold, we got part three of creating a metaverse business. We're building the first metaverse hotel with metaverse hospitality. Tommy Farr back at it again. Today, we're going to discuss the differences between a real life business, creating one of those, and creating one in this metaverse because you've done both, you have experience with both, and it should be interesting. What's the difference?
Yeah, thanks for having me back again. The series has been fun. Yeah, today we're pretty much going into like the details of actually building the business side of it. And I currently own a pool company, pool service company. We do some repairs and whatnot as well. That does pretty well, and I've got it to where it runs very well by itself, and that's what led me to starting this new business, this new venture, which is very, very different. Yeah, it's just a completely different ball game when it comes to so many things. The backbone of a business, though, is the people behind it, and how those people carry themselves and the structure. The operating procedures. As long as that's constant in every business, with good people behind it, you're going to succeed and be successful. But when we're talking about difference, especially when we're talking about like startups, it's just a whole different ball game because it involves everybody. NFTs is a completely new ball game worldwide for any investor, whether you are 18 coming out of high school, decide to skip college, or a college graduate who's a big time lawyer has the money. Everyone's on the same page. Versus, an example would be going public, right? So these companies that go public, that have that first initial price offering, only some people are allowed to go in at that price. It's the investors that have the money. I'm no financial advisor and whatnot. This is just to give you an example. But I know people with plenty of money that get rejected for public offerings at that IPO price, because there's people with more money. There's always people with more money, and it limits the opportunity to invest in companies that you support pretty much. And the blockchain and NFTs, it's just a completely new ball game for startups because it gives everybody the opportunity to invest in you if they see the potential in you and your company.
Hey, first off, I forgot to mention this though, Tommy. Look at my background. I'm kind of in my own little metaverse here in this crazy compound that's made out of wine bottles and beer bottles, like
Yeah, I
everything.
saw the
It's
tour.
huge.
That's some type of design he's got going on there for sure.
And I guess his buddy just put it's Casa Arte. It's pretty famous. They've done like documentaries on it, different parts of the world. His buddy put this in one of these metaverses. He forgot which one. He says, I don't know. He just handles all that stuff. He's an older dude, right? But I guess this place is in a metaverse somewhere.
Dang, okay.
They
I
threw it
like
in
it.
there. Can you hear that ringing? The
Yeah,
police.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's
They
going
coming
away.
for you?
Brazil's a little sketchy, you know what I mean? You got to be
Watch
careful. You got
out.
to be on your toes. Floripa's been pretty damn safe though. Okay, so what I'm getting from this though is like there's not much barriers to entry, right? It's the wild west, like the
Exactly,
NFT
yeah.
metaverse world. You don't have to have the old guy with the cigar in the background like say yes, you can do this, you can't do that, but with that's a lot of risk, huh? That's a whole different ballgame with risk.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it all starts with security, and as long as you can get on the uh, computer, get on the internet, figure out how to run a wallet, how to be safe about it, just like you would pretty much your bank information. You're not going to give that out to anybody. Um, and from there, just know where you're putting your money. Don't just go into any profile picture project because it looks cool or because some influencer says you should. It's just like investing in any company, and that's how we're treating Metaverse hospitality, and building it up like a true company. Um, because we want people to, trust in the process, to know that we have a vision, and they believe in that vision, and we're going to have those people join in as it's investors pretty much, people that invest through NFTs, that buy into these NFTs, they should be, considered investors that are, believe in your project.
Okay, so what about like LLCs or the paperwork? Are you doing this through the Metaverse and Sandbox? Or are you getting your own lawyers? What's the difference between a real business and this Metaverse stuff relating to, all the back end, the paperwork, and all that BS?
Yeah, so to start, it's very, very similar. You just make sure you have, uh, for me, a limited liability company, just so you have limited liability. We don't need to go on details on which companies are which, but yeah, you need to back yourself no matter what type of company you're building. Where it gets complicated is when you're bringing in like the DAOs and the coins. And we're definitely a little ways away from that. My brother's actually a lawyer, so the process has been pretty simple so far, in regards to having everything from insurance to, of course, you got to file for taxes as well. But yeah, that's the same business wise. But when it gets into things that are new for everybody, like DAOs, like the coin, that's when there's certain specialty lawyers you're gonna have to go to. Like even my brother, I don't know if he's gonna. He's new to the ball game too. Not many people know how that's gonna work regarding to regulations as well. So things may be completely different a year from now. We'll see.
So what about Sandbox? Are they taking cuts of something? You have to sign up on something to play a game there, to run a business through them. I mean, what's going on with them? They're just the all-powerful force behind the scenes. They let you run free. They got to give something from it.
Yeah, there's usually a cut in all transactions on the blockchain. The creator has royalties, so every type of resale land, they get a cut of it, of course. And then the game-wise functions of the token, there is sand. So you actually have to buy your land. You originally had to buy your land with sand at the drops, and then that's their in-game currency for wearables, for anything you need to build. All of that is through sand. And of course, they take a percentage through every transaction, pretty much. But yeah, that's just like any bank, just like any tax, really. You're gonna get a little bit cut out to somebody else. It's always gonna work that way in some ways, shape or form.
Okay, you brought it up before, talent and people, employees. Where do you find employees for something that's totally brand new? Like, what kind of people are you looking for? What kind of background do they have to have? Because not many people have 10 years experience in the metaverse or anything like that.
Yeah,
Or there's
exactly.
no college degrees. There's no college degrees, any of that stuff.
Nah, and like Solidity, what's I guess the code for Ethereum, is brand new. People that know code and have built apps, that's their job. They have no idea what Solidity is. So yeah, that's definitely been the tough part. I've had some good interviews with devs, like developers is what the what you call the person that builds pretty much the code and the Solidity on Ethereum. But there's so many that seem like they would be a good partner, but they have no work to back them. I've had at least 3 interviews like that with developers that are definitely good people. They're definitely trying their best to run their business as a developer. But when you ask for published work or even just an NFT or website you can track back to the blockchain, they don't have anything yet. So it's everybody's trying to jump into something that it's hard. It's definitely hard, and you have to be careful. You have to find someone you can trust, and I think the best way to do that is through trusted community members, pretty much. A start again is Twitter. We've talked about it before, but Twitter is a hub for NFTs. It really is. Do a little research on the big followers, follow them. Look at their retweets, see if you align with what they're speaking, what they're talking about, because there's some shady influencers and there's some amazing people. Feel free to reach out if you need me to point you in the right direction. But that's the easiest way to get started, through Twitter, through Discord, finding the people to trust. But yeah, it's also probably the toughest part.
Yeah, but you found a couple people, right, that were outside of the space. and maybe because you knew them in the past, I'm not sure if you can speak on it, but the people you found, they don't really have any background in the metaverse, but you want them a part of it, right?
Right. So the two two executive committee members, I'm building this as like a true business. I'm bringing on a COO position and a creative director position, an artist who's going to have other artists below him and pretty much take the creative control of the company. He is actually into NFTs, just not super into it yet. He hasn't dropped his own project, but he's released some of his arts on NFT platforms. You know, he's a very well-known artist in from Lagos, Africa. And another woman I worked with through hospitality, our old consulting job with hotels. You know, some of the best hotels in the world we've consulted with together, and I've seen her work. I know her drive and her background with hotels is something that completely aligns with what we're looking for. So yeah, it's a good fit for the company, and it directly aligns with, you know, building the executive committee, and from there we're going to build out the team and continue to expand.
So have things been moving faster creating a business in this world than they do in the real world, or is it slower? Like, what's the speed difference?
It's way slower, to be honest, because there's so many new, everything from my brother looking over the contracts that, you know, I've written up that are pretty much new contracts for metaverse and employees. Like it's just stuff that people have never seen before. um, Doing like a percentage of profits, for example. You have to get the right contract aligned for both sides. You have to get the right percentage. You have to get both lawyers to look at it. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, plus the holidays, you know, right now. So it's definitely slowed things down a little bit, versus I think um, real world, like you have a little bit more of a feel on things, you know, whether it's you have a storefront or you have interaction with your customers. It's just a little bit tougher when everything's virtual. When you know, you're not even face to face with the person you may hire and leave a lot of the company hands to pretty much. The whole back end is going to be someone that I probably don't know. And that's hard, you know, but you have to find ways to trust those types of people in this new world. Like the metaverse will be fully online, and, you know, you may never ever meet your boss in the future, or, you know, hundreds of your employees that work for you, you may never see. Um, but yeah, that's just, we're figuring out as we go for things like that. But at the same time, you have to take somewhat of the same approach to how the real world businesses work as well.
Okay, how many businesses have you seen in this metaverse, and like what kind of businesses are there? I know we talked about that one company that got bought out by Nike. They make like wearables in the metaverse. So you can
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
the metaverse sneakers. What other kind of businesses have you seen, and what kind of businesses are there?
So probably my favorite right now that's actually doing really well is Jenkins, the valet. Pretty much a multimedia company is what they're going for. The first project is a book. They have Neil Strauss, who's a New York Times bestselling author, on
The
board. You know,
game. The
yeah,
game.
exactly. He's a
He wrote the
10-time
game.
best-selling author. Like he's the real deal. I actually met him in New York. They when the announcement, it was during NYC NFT week, and he was at the bar talking to everyone. It was a great time. But yeah, we're writing a book together pretty much. If you hold an NFT, you get a certain amount of points that goes towards voting. Everything from a plot, you know, to character twists, things like that. And then you can also match your NFT to a Bored Ape. So the first book is Bored Ape base. And if you own the NFT and you don't own a Bored Ape, you can still license it out to a Bored Ape holder and split the royalties. In addition, if you do either split it with an ape or you own both, you get a percentage of the book's profits. So they're literally building, you know, multimedia company that's backed by its holders. You know, I have all three of my apes. They're going to be characters in the book because I have two NFTs of his. that I match with two of my apes, and I have one ape that I split the licensing fee with another holder. So I mean, literally that right there is very complex, but it's just the base of this project. You know, they're signed by one of the biggest marketing agencies out of Hollywood, and you know they have room for movies, podcasts. They're literally a multimedia company. They're going to hit every market, and they're going to do it really, really well. It's going to be pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because we've had the doomsdayers say, okay, there's going to be no jobs with the robots and the automation, but every time these new markets open up, like just weird stuff like this comes about, like where you have all these different opportunities to make money and be creative. And a lot of people have said this for a while now is like in the future, the creative types are going to get paid, right? Because the manual stuff is figured out with the automation, the robots. But now, how do you monetize your creativeness with the arts, with the podcasting, with the videoing, and whatnot? So it's cool to see it come kind of to fruition pretty fast. Tommy, you have two apes now.
The mutants. So
Okay.
one bored ape, and then the mutants are in the book as well. So I have the two mutants and the one like OG bored ape. Yeah, so three
Gotcha.
three of my NFTs will be in the book.
What other businesses? So that was one example. Give us some more to spark some creativity in case we have someone listening that wants to throw their cards into
Let me
this.
see here. There's there's a lot of artwork that's like one-on-one artwork that is doing really, really well for like collectors. I think that's going to be something that is absolutely huge in the future. But artists are running their business based again on the community. You know, they're building a brand that's built by the community, and their artwork is selling really, really well because of it. BYO Pills is one that's creating literally a metaverse on their own. That one is getting mentioned. I think it was on the Joe Rogan show the other day, but has completely skyrocketed. They started with these pills as like the consumables of the metaverse. Pretty cool concepts to begin with, but they've completely shaken up the NFT space in the last few weeks, I guess month or so, whatever, because they're creating their own metaverse. They've dropped pretty much avatars, land, and vehicles to fly around this metaverse with. It's a pretty cool concept that's pretty much evolved as the business has grown. So opportunities
You
everywhere.
have you have those pills. You told me about these a long time ago. These drug
Yeah,
pills.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually flipped. I minted 7 of them. I'm down to 3. But I have 3 full sets. So I think there's land, there's a vape, which is like pretty much it connects the pills and whatnot. There's your avatars, um, and then the vehicles. And that's the full set. I think if you sold like one full set, it's almost 3 ETH right now. So
Yeah, I
they've
think that's what's super cool though about this kind of stuff. Like all these little games and puzzles, like the NFTs do, and if you own this thing and then you combine it and it makes this, and there's just so much like possibility with this stuff. That's why I think it gets really addicting for people who are like, it's like a video game. You're playing a video game and you're leveling up, but it's like a lot of money at stake and this whole new frontier. I mean, that's what makes it kind of like exciting for you, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And I think video games is what you touched on. I think the play to earn mechanics are what it's gonna take this space to a whole new level. Once Xbox and PlayStation have the play to earn mechanics on a good game, like good graphics, where you like Halo or um, I don't even know what's Fortnite is what I was trying to think of, like a Fortnite type game where, if you do really well, if you win one match, you get paid for that match. If you win a tournament, you get paid a ton for the tournament. Things like that are I think going to change the game, and we're on our way to it. It's just there's the play to earns out there. A lot of them are thought of as Ponzi schemes, and the graphics are horrible, and it's just kind of like it's just not evolved yet. We're just so early that we're not to the level of it being mainstream. We're getting there, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, I've seen like Instagram reel, like 5 games you can earn money now, and it's like $8 to $13 an hour, and the graphics look pretty shitty, but it's wicked, man. I mean, a lot of people that'd be fun. That'd be fun work for a lot of people. You know, instead of
Have you
doing the
heard
normal
of
jobs.
Axie Affinity?
It might have been one in the Instagram reel. What is it?
Yeah, so that's one of the more popular ones, but the people hire pretty much they have their Axie pod, whatever they call it, and they hire other people to play the game for them. In underdeveloped countries and places that this is playing the game, it's actually a really good wage for them. So they're running a business pretty much. They literally have people, sometimes managers that run, entire farms out for, I've heard of people having hundreds, of employees that literally play Axie Infinity. And it's a play to earn game that you earn a token and then you can pretty much swap that token for whatever you want, cash, ETH.
Dude, imagine this. Now I'm in a pretty like rich area of Brazil, Florianopolis. This is where all the Brazilians go and vacation. I take an Uber, 45 minutes, and I pay the guy $5. And some of that money goes to Uber, some of that money goes to gas. So now I think he can just sit on his laptop, play for $10 an hour instead of doing all that driving, all that gas, destroying his car. I mean, who wouldn't do that? You know what I mean? Like that's good money for
Yeah, seriously.
80% of the world. 80% of the world, $10 an hour is really good money.
Say you have a laptop and a phone, right? That's two different players right there you can manage. So yeah, that's it's spreading, it's getting to the masses, but that things like that are helping, but at the same time, like you gotta wonder if it's truly legal in all aspects. That's something that I haven't looked into. Uh, their business, plans wise is, something that I hope that all the people that are really involved to check up on. But that's it's gotten so big that it's doing really well for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, so that's the last thing I want to hit on though, is the challenges, and obviously this is like the wild wild west. Is it? I mean, we weren't really alive business wise during the dot-com bubble, but like 95% of the shit went underneath. You know, I mean, is that really similar
Mm-hmm.
to what's happening here, where 5%, 1% of these things are actually gonna be the real deal?
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's something that's definitely going to happen. I some of the earliest things I remember from the internet is like you couldn't be on the phone at the same time you're using the internet. I don't know if you remember those days, but there's times where like I remember my parents freaking out because someone was on the computer when they're expecting to get a phone call. And obviously that's no one's ever even heard of that if you were born after that occurred, but things like that are 100% going to happen. Things like a Google are going to take over the space. Hopefully it's more than just an Amazon and a Google that completely, or a Meta that completely take over. Hopefully it's still built by us, the community, the people that are truly involved and care about it. But where we're looking at like a giant here, and the big boys are going to get involved soon. So it's yeah, it's gonna be 99% are gonna fall out, but hopefully the ones that are truly building, that are truly offering, utility and giving back to the community, those are the ones that are really gonna make it.
Yeah, so just finish off with the challenges. I know we've kind of hit on a couple of them, but like, what have really been like a thorn in your ass during this process?
The developer side's been tough just because it's something that I'm not familiar with. Solidity, building on the blockchain. I've done my research now to see if it's something that I can uh, build myself. There's certain companies that have the contracts that I can choose to integrate my business into. Pretty much is how some companies work, or I can hire a developer that I give the keys to, kind of let him deploy everything, pay him as a subcontractor, um, and be done with it type thing. But I want someone on the team who's going to commit to us, who I can trust and build a company with. And that's been tough, especially in the developer side. Someone that is ready to commit to you and build a company with you rather than hiring out a sub. or finding someone on a Fiverr or something. It just, first off, you can't really trust them. People that go out of their way to find customers in that aspect, I think is maybe they're involved in the wrong ways. They're not going to stick with you. I want someone that's going to stick with me and build a company. And it's just hard to find people that first off have the background with the blockchain, with building on the blockchain, and then that have the long-term vision of like building a company pretty much, and not just helping out different services here and there.
Amazing. Awesome. That wraps up part 3. We've been getting some good views on the podcast. Now we finally uploaded these to YouTube. So check us out, Bold Perceptions. We're going to start posting a lot of YouTube content on there, but you can see our pretty faces the whole time. You can see all these weird backgrounds. You can Tommy Shades. You can get inspired by his style.
Yeah, the hat.
Oh, is that the NYC Bored Ape thing?
Bored Ape hat, yeah. The I think the dad hat, the original dad hat. The New York City shirts and hats will be coming in soon, so pretty excited for that.
Oh, you got me one of those, didn't you? Me and George.
Yes, sir.
I gotta get you some Venmo for that. That'd be cool. Amazing, cool. Well, we're gonna keep this series rolling. Again, check it out on YouTube. Tommy, plug your Twitter again. Metaverse Hospitality, Instagram.
Yeah, Metaverse Hospitality on Twitter and Instagram. TFAR22 on Twitter. Reach out. We get involved. We got Discord jumping in tomorrow. We will announce Discord opening on Twitter. So come hang out.
What about website? Any website?
Not at the moment. We have like a gallery you can check out on our Twitter. That's in the website form. But we want to build everything on the blockchain. So I might do a website that's going to be just a placeholder, but we're waiting on to get everything launched on the blockchain pretty much.
All this stuff, NFTs and the metaverse, a lot of it is focused in the Discord, correct? That's where the stuff is at.
Yeah. That's where you build the community out. A lot of utility is held there because you can confirm what different NFTs you have. You can give out different roles to different, whether you hold an NFT or not. And we're making it very sensory inclusive as well. So it'll be a good place to hang out.
Amazing. We're recording this the day before New Year's Eve. A fun fact, me and Tommy met last year in Mexico for New Year's Eve, and now we're doing this. Connect the doers. That's what Bold Perception is all about, and it's exciting to see you from last year, me and you getting drunk on Fifth Avenue to Mr. Metaverse Mogul. So
it's been a crazy ride and a lot of changes since, but very, very grateful for the connection for sure.
All right, guys, have a wonderful New Year.
Happy New Year.